This substance is very important for us. Without it, our muscles will stop working. Our nervous system will fail. Do not be afraid. This will not happen right now. We still have time to hear the story. This substance is a perfect natural antiseptic. It is also the best preservative in history. People survived without fridges because of it. People used this substance as money. They killed officials for it. Empires fell because of it. Large revolutions started because of it. We are used to it and do not notice it. But before, people called it white gold. Yes, this is just ordinary salt. Today, we will learn the story of this substance. Salt was the engine of civilization. We will learn why people paid with their lives. Ancient Egyptians first produced a lot of salt. For them, it was the key to survival. It was also the key to eternity. Egypt's climate was perfect for production. There were many mineral lakes in the country. They dried under the hot sun. Salt stayed on the surface of the ground. Egyptians did not need to dig for it. They simply collected salt with their hands. First, they learned to preserve food. Archaeologists still find salted fish in tombs. This fish is over 4,000 years old. Egyptians believed in the great power of salt. The main role of salt was mummification. They had to remove all moisture from the body. Rich pharaohs used expensive soda. They called it divine salt. What did poor people do? Herodotus described their ritual. They salted the body in a solution. It stayed there for 70 days. It was like pickling cucumbers. Salt replaced expensive rituals for the poor. Later, this led to strange bureaucracy. In the 19th century, they taxed mummies. Officials wanted to make money from researchers. The law had no word for pharaoh. They taxed a mummy like salted fish. Ancient kings became a fisherman's lunch in documents. Romans made salt a state strategy. Italy had many salt locations. Almost all cities were built near saltworks. The port of Ostia began as a salt center. The first Roman road was built for salt. The road carried salt to Rome. It was called the Via Salaria. The orator Cato wrote about salt. He called salt the main ingredient for health. The word salad comes from the word salt. Romans loved cabbage with a lot of salt. Salt became the first world currency. Romans paid soldiers with salt. This created the word soldier. It also created the English word salary. Roman authorities strictly controlled the prices. Salt was the key to stability. In Rome, the price was very low. Far from the center, salt was more expensive. The price grew with the distance. It was a perfect tool for control. Cheap salt calmed people better than threats. Caesar and Augustus often gave out salt. This way, they bought the loyalty of soldiers. The East made breakthroughs, while the West traded. China used salt for 8,000 years. Engineers learned to drill deep wells. They used bamboo pipes and iron. They pumped brine to the furnaces. While searching for salt, they found oil. These were the first oil fields in the world. Officials saw that salt was a gold mine. The salt tax became the main budget item. This happened 2,000 years before our era. The symbol for salt shows this system. It shows tools and a strict official. The state created a monopoly. They pushed out private business. A special culture of salt consumption appeared. Nobles served perfectly white salt. But salt was also a tool for execution. A nobleman could choose a noble exit. He had to eat a pound of salt. This caused a painful death from dehydration. Taxes and monopolies caused many revolts. Salt traders gathered large armies. They burned capitals in protest. In the Middle Ages, salt showed status. Important people sat above the salt. This expression is still used in English. Venice became great because of the salt deficit. First, Venetians produced their own salt. Then they realized reselling was more profitable. The salt trade became an aggressive business. Venetians burned saltworks of their competitors. They wanted to be the only suppliers. Venice controlled almost all salt in Europe. The city paid merchants to bring salt. Venice was built on salt profits. Salt came from Africa, Crimea, and the Mediterranean. Marco Polo brought monopoly ideas from China. He saw how salt made the state rich. Venice's streets still remind us of salt. Do you think modern taxes are hard? Look at the system in ancient China. Rulers knew people cannot live without salt. This knowledge was the base of state power. The first salt taxes appeared very early. Officials started a very strict state monopoly. Private business was made illegal. An official watched every crystal. The state decided prices and production amounts. Salt brought half the money to the empire. They built palaces and fought wars with it. But it was expensive for ordinary people. Scholars were against these taxes. Confucius's followers called it robbery. But profit was more important than morality. The monopoly stayed in China for centuries. Smuggling and illegal traders appeared. They created secret armies and fought. Huang Chao's revolt almost destroyed the dynasty. Salt became a nightmare in France. The tax was called the gabelle. It was the most unfair tax ever. The state forced people to buy salt. A law required a duty salt purchase. Children from age 8 had to buy salt. They needed 7 kilos per year. The price for this salt was very high. Poor peasants had no money for food. They gave their last coins for salt. Without money, they owed the king. The state took their animals and furniture. People could not use seawater. Special inspectors called gabellers watched the salt. They could enter homes at any time. They searched for illegal salt in pots. Illegal salt led to prison. Cheap salt was forbidden for curing meat. Thousands went to prison or to galleys. The salt police were the most hated. Daily pressure led to a big crisis. People wanted to cancel the gabelle. In India, the British were very clever. All profit had to go to London. The British built the Great Hedge. It was a wall of thorny bushes. It was 4,000 kilometers long. Customs posts were placed along the wall. They caught everyone with a bag of salt. Conditions at salt works were terrible. Locals were forced to work almost free. Workers were fined for any lost salt. The British cut jungles to boil salt. Because of this, tigers came to people. Tigers killed many workers in the fields. Then the British brought salt from England. They did not need Indian salt anymore. Thousands of people in India lost jobs. This led to hunger and many deaths. Then Mahatma Gandhi started a fight. He organized the famous Salt March. Salt united all people in India. Gandhi walked 400 kilometers to the sea. He picked up salt and broke the law. This was the end of British rule. Today, we do not fight for salt. It is very cheap now. The world produces millions of tons. There are three main ways to get it. First way is seawater evaporation. Water stays in pools under the sun. When water dries, machines collect crystals. This produces sea salt with many minerals. Second way is shaft mining. Rock salt is in big underground halls. These are remains of ancient dry oceans. Huge machines cut salt blocks from rock. This is the cleanest salt ever. Third way is vacuum evaporation. This is a modern Chinese method. They pump water underground to dissolve salt. The solution is pumped to the surface. Water is removed in closed chambers. This makes perfect fine white crystals. Stores have a huge variety now. There is table, pink, and black salt. Is salt a poison or medicine? Paracelsus said, "It depends on the dose." Salt was a great savior for humanity. It worked as an antiseptic against infections. Sauerkraut saved sailors from death. Salt caves help lungs and skin. But today, people eat too much salt. We eat much more than the norm. Too much sodium causes heart disease. Salt's history is our civilization's history. Salt became a symbol of life. People paid for it with blood. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.